All right, hello.
Hi
Guys. So welcome to a very special Role Players.
Yeah. This isn't the whole crew. What's going on here?
No, this isn't the whole crew, and while it may look mostly like the set, we're not actually in our normal studio, but this is a special evening that we have where we have a side quest, encounter, a side story happening here with two of our players. You'll see very quickly why that is the case, and if you've been watching the stream, you'll know that they were missing from Monday's game. So here's the missing story. So just going into it really quickly, just to remind you guys that you had quite the encounter from arriving in Anacroli, going through that crazy cloud, immediately getting arrested, having judgment passed on you by the magistrate, thrown into a carriage, thrown down some road, ambushed, attacked by giant lizards, and then by thieves coming out of the darkness, threatening you to get information about where you came from and how you got through that cloud. Most importantly, you've been told you can never go home. And I think that has hit both of you extremely hard. And after all of that happened, you finally crawled into the carriage, just the two of you, to go to sleep. And that's where we're going to start. The two of you decided to retire to the carriage to take your long rest. And you hear a faint noise. Tabitha, you're the first one who hears this. Otto is trying to sleep, but you hear this faint, kind of a strange bird that you've never heard before.
What?
And it kind of just pulls you out of your sleep and immediately reminds you that you're somewhere foreign. And Otto, you're kind of awake. You've slept enough that you both have managed to have your long rest. Let's go ahead and mark that off. But Otto, you've been tossing and turning all night, worried about your situation. What would you two like to do?
I listen for a moment. Does it sound like there's something still nearby?
Roll a perception check.
Okay. So the 18 plus 1, 19.
19. Pretty solid. You listen, you still hear the strange bird sound, and you also now, you can hear a bit of like shifting and rustling. You remember that your companions are right outside the carriage. You were the only two that slept in the carriage that night.
Yeah.
And you pulled the door closed to keep you warm, but it's not fully slammed because the carriage has been jostled and broken. So you can hear, and you remember they're out there, but it sounds like they're still sleeping.
I wonder what that is. Hopefully it's not feasting on the remains of our new friends.
No, it sounds like it's kind of just maybe relaxing out there. Just like a bird.
I'd best not disturb it then.
Yeah.
Actually, while we're both awake, I don't know about you, but I slept dreadfully. And I spent a lot of time thinking. I don't know if you've taken stock of our companions, but I've been studying them, wondering about them.
Okay.
I've also...
And?
Well, I think I'm a fairly good judge of character. In fact...
Of course you think that.
I think... I kind of stroke at the end of my wiry mustache. It's got little like curls right here. I think I've figured out a thing or two about you.
Oh. Do tell.
You are a thief.
Yeah, obviously I'm a thief.
I figured that out.
Okay.
You see, it was a dead giveaway. You were pilfering all the bodies looking for gold, and, well, when I saw you interact with those thieves from the that we encountered earlier, well, I managed to put two and two together. Well, there's actually something I was thinking to that end.
Okay, let's get to that part. Obviously, I'm a thief.
Alright, so you're a thief.
Yeah.
Clearly, those that we encountered, the Sumrock, they called themselves.
Yeah.
They seem to be thieves as well, and they didn't mind bending the rules of the land, manoeuvring themselves around this empire. Now, our new companions, one of them, we know is an edgeguard, loyal to the empire.
Oh yeah, Seville.
I'm just starting to wonder, have we put ourselves in league with those that can really get us what we want? Because,
Great point.
as I recall, just before we went to bed, you wanted to know if you could have this, and I pull out my somewhat cracked, jeweled mirror.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was another clue that you were, in fact, a thief.
Okay, well, it's perfectly nice gold, so...
That is true. And you know, it's funny you mention that. There's perfectly nice gold, lots of it, back home. You see, I'm from quite a wealthy family.
I know, you won't shut up about it.
Alright, well, it's pertinent to what I'm saying.
Okay.
You see, although it's been said that we cannot return home, I'm not so sure. The Sumrock seemed convinced that they could pass through the same storm that we passed through to get here.
Right, and obviously Seville was able to not only be here, leave, come back, like more than one time, so by that, my estimations, it's possible.
You know what I think it is?
What?
It's something like what we tell peasants. We withdraw information from them, that way they don't get wizened up to too much. It becomes much harder to steer them around and control them.
I will say that that is a bit messed up, and maybe you and your family should reevaluate when you rejoin them, but...
Tabitha, darling, it's the way of the world. There's no changing it.
Okay.
And it's the world that could prove quite lucrative for you if you're willing to try and return to it. Now, and I realize I kind of lower my voice, wondering who could be awake on the outside. I don't know if they're as resolved to return home as I am. But you and I together, if we made a deal of sorts, we could track down the Sumrock. They likely haven't gotten terribly far.
Okay, I have a great idea.
I'm listening.
So, you could pay me for my company moving forward.
Well, with all due respect, darling, I pegged you as a thief, not a whore.
Okay, not that kind of company.
Oh,
I mean, like
right,
mine.
of course, no.
Obviously, you
I was
saw me
joking.
slay the massive lizard,
Yeah, you.
and you were treacherously terrible during the fight, so you could use my protection.
I'll have you know, I also was able to kill one of those beasts. And look,
My method of murdering the beast was way more entertaining than yours.
Well, sure, you're deadly. That much was clear.
Thank you.
I would wager to say that's not the first knife you've taken. There was a certain coldness about you. Even if it was a giant lizard looking to eat us, at least your survival instinct kicked in and you tried to kill it versus befriend it.
Yeah, that was
So you see,
absolutely dreadful.
this is what I mean.
Okay.
There may not be those on the outside of here looking to make a play and get back home, but you, I trust that you and I are similar. Let me make you this deal.
Okay.
I have little gold on me now, and we may need to use it to advance our plan, but I assure you this. If you join an agreement with me to track down the Sumrock and find our way back home to Faerun, to my family, I'll see you handsomely rewarded with a true noble's reward.
And she kind of does a little shimmy. It's fine. She's like, great, you have a deal.
Very good, my lady.
I was going to roll persuasion, but it looks like it worked. Okay,
Well done.
Alright, so now how are we going to get out of the carriage without waking our friends?
Right, hold on. Could we look around and see if there's any way out, like where we could escape out of view of where we suspect our party is?
Also, is it still dark?
You
So
roll
neither of
a
us
perception
is-
check. You can go up to the hole, or you can look up through the door.
Ooh. 8. Perception we're doing?
Yeah,
Let's
if you
see
have
how we
activity.
can add to it. +4.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So no problem. So you just maneuver again. The door, which is on top, can no longer fully close. There are plenty of gaps there, and you can see the kind of dark umbra of the sky starting to lighten. So you know that the sun is coming up. You only have a bit of time.
Hey,
Yeah?
look.
Oh, we better get moving.
Yeah.
The others, are they still asleep? Can you see them?
Can I see them from where I'm sitting?
You can't see them from where you're at. You even go into you look around, there are some new cracks, but you can't quite, it's pretty dark still on the
If
ground.
he gives me a boost, will I be able to see them?
You can certainly try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Careful, we don't want to make much noise and wake up.
And remember, you're both a race that does not have dark vision. So,
It's okay.
Alright.
I've got a torch. If we just sneak away off into the woods, I'm sure in due time we can track down the Sumrock.
Right.
I think I remember which way they went. I think.
You probably had your eye on them all, right?
Well, you know, I was sort of trying to make sure we escaped with our lives.
Okay.
That was my focus at the time.
So, how are we going to get out of this?
Let's have a look. So I'm looking around to try and find a way out where, I know there's like the top where
Okay.
is there any other way?
so
out?
do an investigation check for me. Let's see.
Okay.
And what would you like to do?
Well, I just wanted to know, the carriage is still in the place where it was when so the door's on the roof.
The door's on the roof, yeah.
So much easier to get in than get out.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so you poke around, and throughout the night you felt some breezes over you as you were trying to sleep. So you know that it's not seal tight as it was before, and you see that indeed the structure of the carriage has been shattered, kind of smushed into the ground over in the front corner, and it looks like while the boards are still together, it looks a lot looser than it was, and it's possible you're thinking that you might be able to push those open. And
Okay.
escape.
Okay.
All right. I think here. And I sort of pointed out, and I'm like, just help me jostle it. You're a bit smaller. Once you get through, I'll get through after you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna go that way? Alright, roll a stealth check for me.
But I'm going to take lead on that. I want to go first.
Okay, but you're probably in the woods.
I'm correct.
He's probably in the woods, so we're gonna see how quietly he can do this. No.
7.
7. Okay.
Stop it.
So you, at first, the boards move very easily. You're feeling confident, like this, I found the way. And then as it just hits this one point, it just makes a squeak, wood on wood. You freeze, you hear, and then you wait a moment, and you hear the breathing. Settle down, and it goes quiet again.
Okay.
All right. Can you get through there? Is that big enough?
It looks like she can probably get through.
Great.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Can I go through?
Yeah, you can just, why don't you roll stealth to see how quietly you can slip out.
Cool.
18
Oh.
plus.
A lot, I'm sure.
Just to let you know.
Yeah,
Just
you've
a brag.
made it, but let's rub it in.
fun.
Rub it in a little.
Yeah.
Have fun.
+7.
Oh, yeah.
25.
So it's almost like you turn into a snake. You're just like smoke, just glide right out of there.
Now from your end.
Can I come out and I go like this, even though you can't see it in the
Hey, from your end, can you now sort of help me move that over? I'll go through.
Just make yourself as absolutely small as possible and just get through silently.
So you can see you're not going to be able to fit without adjusting the board some more.
Go on, go ahead. Just move them just move them a bit, will you? And I'm sort of like I'm a little too afraid to mess with them now, and so I'm like waiting to see if she'll like move them from her side.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to push them.
Okay, do a stealth check. Let's see how quietly you can move them.
7 plus, we said 7?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 14. 14. Solid. So there's still not much light, and your eyes are adjusting to the. Well, I guess they're pretty adjusted. You've been asleep in a dark carriage all night, but you're feeling about, and you feel that there's a band of wood that's going across the wood, which he hit, and that's what made the squeak. So you start to lift, and you feel that, and you pull that away quietly and put it down, and then the woods lift up. No problem.
Okay, come get through.
All right, here I come. Nice.
Okay, you get roll one more stealth check. See if you can get out of here.
Let's see. Come on. All right, 18.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, now that she opened up the space wide enough, you slip through.
And I kind
No
of come
problem.
through, and my head kind of comes through first, and I'm like, got it. Come on out, and like brush off my coat. And it's dark, right?
It's dark.
So-
You can see though, even in the time since you looked,
It's almost
I mean, the sun is coming up and the sky is lightening.
All right.
Because sometimes darkness can show you the light.
Thank you for that.
The more you know.
I am going to, I think, strike the torch. Kind of take it and have some. It's oily.
Okay.
Just, and
Does that make a bunch of noise though?
well, we're really close to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
They're all
right.
kind of sleeping
Maybe-
around the carriage.
Maybe I kind of tell you, let's go a bit off into the woods, and then I'll.
Yeah, so you see him start to do this and you grab his hands like,
Well, I can't see anything.
We're going this way.
You can start to see enough where
you can navigate the ground, your eyes are adjusted enough at this point.
Good.
that.
So I want to scurry out towards the woods
Okay.
in the closest way to get to the woods from where we are.
Okay. That's no problem. So you actually just go off in the direction that the carriage was traveling when it got overturned. And there's a nice copse of wood right there that you can just head right for.
Great.
And you're gonna follow?
I will too, and I think once we're under the cover of the woods, I'll strike the torch.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, that's no problem. You get there quietly. You're still in your stealth roll from before, so you know
Nice.
had no problem getting across the ground. You light up your torch, get enough light there, and the trees are pretty dense here, so you feel maybe you move a little bit deeper so that the torchlight's not attracting their attention at all.
Great.
And what would you guys like to do?
Well, now I'm sort of feeling a bit terrible, like we didn't say goodbye or anything. Should I go and leave them a note? Perhaps
No.
I could write a poem and leave it to them, sort of as a. I'll be right back. Just hold this.
Okay.
I feel terrible about it.
What's the poem gonna say?
Well, that's not for you, darling. It's for them.
Okay, I'm going to suggest that since we're trying to sneak away from them as silently as possible, maybe we don't go back to them.
No, it's fine. I'm really quiet. It's not going to make a difference. And I leave you holding the torch, and I bend over, and I take like a page out of my journal, and I write a little message. It says,
Do you want her to know?
I'm not making like a big show of hiding it, but I'm not really.
Okay.
I'm not really like trying to show her.
Okay, so she's watching you.
Perceptive eyes would probably notice me.
Yeah.
And I basically say like, friends, hope you'll excuse our sudden exit. Like in the great drama, all characters must take their adieu. And so here have I taken mine in search of home. How terribly homesick I am. And so I wish all of you the best. And I hope that our paths can cross again one day. But you must know, I've cherished you all, but it's truly time for me to press on. With love, Otto.
Okay.
P.S. And I like scratch through and I'm like,
Okay, you've made absolutely no mention of me except at the beginning you started with your pronoun being we've. You said wave.
Oh, hold on, that's perfect then. P.S. After the scratched out P.S., I write a new P.S.
Okay.
And I say, Tabitha sends her regards as well. And by the way, this was private. And I scroll it up, and
Okay.
I try to go back and just...
I'll take it back. Hold this torch.
Alright, just, you know.
You're too loud. And I sneak
All
back
right.
because I'm much more
Let's.
sneaky.
All right. Yeah, you are. Let's get a
That's
stealth
very
roll.
true.
8 plus 7.
15.
So,
All right.
do I make it without being seen?
So you start to make your way across, and the thing you actually notice as you're going is that the sky it's like twice as bright as it was when you guys first got over to the trees. And you even kind of step on a stick that makes a little noise, and you freeze for a moment. And now you can see them all kind of sleeping there, but everybody looks like they're still quite asleep.
Okay.
So you just continue on, and who do you want to leave it with?
I want to leave it with our set.
Okay.
And does she have like a little bag or like a satchel that I can like kind of tuck it into?
She does. She's actually in a meditative pose.
Okay.
So, because she's an elf.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so it looks like she's just on her knees, her back is straight, but you see that she's got almost like a, not really a purse, kind of like a loose bandolier that's over her shoulder.
Okay, cute.
And there's just a little space there you can kind of
Okay,
put
I'm gonna
it.
just like slide it right there.
Do a sleight of hand check for
Okay.
me.
7 plus 5.
Okay.
12.
Yeah. So with a slight shaking hand, because you're coming up from behind her, but you know of the elves, but you don't really understand the trance thing. You don't know how actually asleep she is,
Right.
or if she can hear you or
I don't
feel
really
you.
like her.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna literally, I love that you're doing this. I was gonna throw it in the carriage. The
Yeah.
fact that you're trying to put it on someone's body, I'm like looking through the trees and I'm like, this is hilarious. What the devil? Alright.
Yeah, and you love Erisette, and she's very sweet, and you're feeling a little bad about this. Your hand's almost shaking, and you manage to just put it in there, back off, and slowly back away, and make your way back.
I'm like, thank you, Tabitha, truly. I feel much better now. You know, when you have something weighing on your heart like that, it's not good. So maybe now we can go about tracking down the Simrock.
Sure. How do you suggest we do that?
Right. Well.
Do you remember where they came from or where they went to?
Let's see. And I will try.
Do a history check to see what Otto actually remembers of that moment.
Crits.
Whoa.
25.
Whoa.
And in that moment, when you're just all the confusion just
Bleeds away, and you just like you feel like you're looking back in time. You see Alma disappearing into the darkness in the direction of where the carriage came from, right down that
And
road.
I'm just like,
And the half orc that you saw, the giant half orc guy, had said something to her.
Which
and
one was
went,
that?
went off.
Cole or Lester
Uh,
or Iguan?
You're
Were
not.
those the right names?
Those are the right names,
Okay.
but you're not really sure which one it was.
Okay.
Well, actually, you do know she did call because you're remembering perfectly. You don't remember, but you remember it was Yuguan.
Yuguan is the large orc.
Is the half orc, and he had gone off. What you're just calling north, basically, kind of off to the left side of the carriage, the way it was traveling. And there was a smaller being that went off into the shadow, off to the right side from the carriage. So those are the three that you remember seeing.
Okay.
So you just pointed and remember
Yeah, and
us.
I'm like, that way. And I sort of lead us
Okay.
on in that direction.
Seems as though you're pretty confident.
To which
so we'll
one are
just
you?
go
I
with
mean,
it.
basically you have three directions to go. Which one are you picking?
I see they went in different directions.
Kind of like they all just went
The
this way.
leader, the leader, Amal,
Amal.
yeah, is who I would pick.
Okay,
the
so
leader.
So, because she is in the direct path from where you came from, down that road, you're going to have to, kind of looking at the area, you realize you're going to have to make kind of a wide swath around all of your companions. so you can get out of their way before you can start tracking her.
All right. And I relay that to her and kind of say that maybe we do like a slightly wide sweep around.
Okay.
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 Well, we better get to going.
All
That's
right.
right.
So you guys are far enough away. We don't really need stealth checks.
Okay.
Although, give me a perception check, either of you, because as you're making your way, just glancing over at your party.
6 plus. We're gonna do perception, you said?
Yeah.
Plus 4.
Okay.
So, maybe halflings don't have the best long distance vision. You're looking at the camp, you can't tell if you see some movement, but you can't tell if that people are awake or if they're still shifting in sleep as it's starting to brighten and they're going to naturally wake up. You can just continue to make your way.
We're going to keep on.
Okay. So after about 5 minutes, carefully navigating the woods and staying far enough away from the party, you get to what you see the tracks from the carriage.
There, from the Sumrak.
No, from the carriage
From
our
that you
carriage.
were in.
I see.
So that you now know this is the direction that
Yes.
Alma left in.
Alright, good. Let's carry on and follow this. I think it should, with any luck, take us right to a mall.
Okay.
And why don't you roll a survival check?
Sure.
Ooh.
Oof, that's-
20!
Look at that.
And
Whoa.
I hope we got that whole throw.
This is
The
crazy.
Roll off the thing. It was so beautiful.
That was years of D&D experience just culminating.
just
into one
paying
moment.
off in that moment.
So yeah, it'll give me a 20 in total.
Okay, so
That's wonderful. So you start following the carriage and you quickly spot footprints.
Wait a
And
minute, look at that.
the ground in this area is a little like damp. It's weird. It's almost has like a spongy quality to it.
Quicksandy? Is
What's-
it like quicksand?
No, not quicksand.
Okay.
Just like the kind of it's a short grass and a bit of the muddy dirt. The mud doesn't necessarily like stick to your boots, but it makes impressions and it has a weird kind of sponginess to it.
Like
Just
kind
in
of
this-
unusual.
It's different. It's like not something you've really experienced before.
Okay.
But at least in this little patch right here, you can easily see the footprints going off, heading down the road.
Look there. Ever the outdoorsman I am, that looks like the footprints
Okay,
of our Sumrak.
you're not an outdoorsman. These are just very blatant footprints that any person would notice.
Really?
So let's,
Once you have noticed them, had I not pointed them out to you?
Yeah,
You know,
obviously.
I've gone on hunts with my uncle.
You've been on hunt with your uncle.
I was like, are you mocking me?
Mm-mm.
You're starting to make me really question this whole partnership.
Okay, let's just follow the footprints.
Well, I wanted to say,
I'm just saying, I am a stealthy, thievy, sneaky person
no, I know.
by
Remember,
trade.
I sized you
You're
up.
just like a rich, very well dressed and handsome
Thank you.
young man.
Well,
So, just maybe I should help with some of the navigations.
well, certainly. I'll be open to suggestions, but you'll have to run it by the outdoorsman himself. Listen, I was thinking we should really discuss our pitch to the Sumrak when we find them. You know, and as we're walking,
We're
I
like
sort of,
following the footprints.
And
I'm
you
not going
and you watching the footprints, you can tell that the shape of the footprint has changed, and now you're just seeing the front of her boot. And you realize that she's no longer walking, she's probably gone into a bit of a sprint.
I kind of lean over and look. Alright, we'll have to pick up our pace a bit, but as I continue, I'm sort of chatting with Tabitha.
Are we hearing any of the like lizards or creepy things in the?
You're hearing a lot of that strange bird in the background.
Okay.
And actually roll a history check for me, because you're thinking about this right now.
18. Let's see if I add anything to it. I like the adding part.
all right,
It's
it's,
a
just like,
bonus.
it's a bonus, yeah.
2 plus 2.
So 20, very nice.
So as you're taking a second to say, well, maybe I should listen to my surroundings, and you hear the birds, you
I feel like
hear.
we're getting too at ease, just like chilling and talking.
Yeah, but
we
that-
know this place is dangerous.
At that moment, you remember Seville's words, and he was talking about how dangerous the kind of off the road area is, where there's just everything out there is just made to kill you. And those words just kind of flash in your head as you guys are kind of jauntily, walking down the road. And
Okay.
So anyway, I was thinking we
Shh.
could...
Just think about it. She might be sprinting away from something. Remember what Seville said. Anything out here could kill us, so maybe we should be just slightly on alert.
Very well. Good call. I don't know how thick this forest is, but I don't know that we'll be able to find any road and still follow our targets. I think we're stuck maneuvering this forest if we have any hopes of finding them.
And looking around, you guys, the land is kind of interesting. There are dense groves of trees, basically, but they seem to be, maybe 200-300 feet, and then they stop. They're just like these kind of ovalus shaped groves, and then it's this weird flatlands with rock outcroppings and grasses of different size, and then back to these groves. So the woods are dense,
Yeah.
but they're just kind of in these little pockets, darted throughout the land.
I see. Good to know.
And you are in one right now.
In a
In a
Grove.
dense wood. You can see it's about another 100 feet before you emerge from this one.
Since I noticed that her footprints go into what I think is a sprint, could I look around for now any sign of like other or like animal footprint or something that could maybe, or any clue as to like, is there some
Why
east here or
she's
something?
running.
Yeah, do an investigation check.
Okay. Yikes. That is merely a 6, my friend.
So these words now that she just reminded you of how dangerous it is. Now you're trying to look around, but your mind's going frantic and you're having trouble focusing. Your eyes are wide. You just kind of see everything without seeing anything. So you don't really notice any other tracks.
Look, I think we're okay for the time being. But I was really going to say, and I continue to walk toward where Amal's.
Like Amal Clooney.
Yeah, it's actually her. We have her.
Yeah, we have her.
She's going to be
and
good.
it's a big reveal, guys.
Yeah, we just ruined it. Sorry.
I continue to track Amal's footprints as I talk with Tabitha, and I say, we might want to think about what we'll say and explain our change of heart or our wanting to go and speak with them.
Of course, absolutely. And before he gets to the end of the grove, I just kind of stop him.
Okay.
And I'm like, and I just stopped, but I'm like, is everything?
Everything's fine. It's just, look, there's a bit of a clearing out here, and so we need to be strategic about that could make us easy prey, visible to other thieving groups. We just need to. What are we going to do to cross these?
Yes. Well.
Yes, what are you going to do?
And as you just see this blade that comes out in front of both of you, just like right at your neck, and you can kind of sense this presence behind you. It's quite large, and a hand comes down on your shoulder. And it's like, "And where you do going?"
Hello.
And I'm sort of like, hello. And I kind of trying to steal a peek at who maybe is behind us.
And you recognize him instantly as the half-orc, with big tusks, completely sharpened to points.
Yuguan.
Yuguan.
Yuguan. And I say, oh right, you remember us, don't you? You wouldn't forget a face like this.
No, I no forget. I know. I watch.
Actually, we were hoping to speak with them all. We thought maybe there's no better time like the present to make ourselves useful allies.
Maybe we should kill them.
And you hear another little voice from the bushes nearby.
Cole?
sure.
Blaster? We don't know.
Nothing's revealed yet.
Okay.
I'm all gone. I'm watching my choice.
Okay, so hello. I am hoping to.
Speak.
Excuse me.
Speak.
Hi.
What were you going to say, Tabitha?
I was gonna say.
And you feel the blade get a little bit closer to your necks, and you realize this is a long blade. It goes across both of you at this angle from your neck down to her neck at her size.
I am actually a thief, also from a different land, but I'm sure it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the others, the same skills, and I'd be happy to help you out in exchange for either a bit of information or maybe
You have more information.
a bit of gold. We definitely have information about the land with which we came.
Look, you want to know the truth. Not only what she is saying is very true, she's a talented thief. But me, I have my talent as well. And I wasn't so sure that we were going to survive and be in the best shape with that group we were with. I thought, you're tough, and I can tell you are. Perhaps it was better to throw in league with you. If you're interested in finding what's on the other side of Anacroli, well, so are we.
And I go to like scratch my hair, and then I just kind of take the blade and just like try to give myself a little second to breathe. Exactly what he's saying.
All right, roll persuasion.
Oh boy.
23.
We're rolling really good.
Yeah, you really are. Yeah, you were. No, just kidding.
How they can giveth and how they can taketh away.
That is true. That
But-
is true.
Persuasion is something Otto is pretty good at, so that was fortunate.
So you deliver this proposal, and you just hear this. And it's just breathing behind you. The blade gets a little bit closer to you. What do we do? Information. You said you gave it all to them all, no?
Well, you know how a memory is. It's a fleeting thing. Things come to you that you didn't remember before, and you're
Shing! And he pulls the blade, puts it away, grabs both of you.
Oh, good.
Amal doesn't need this information. There are other people that need this information. Oh, and you see the bushes rattle again. You're trying to turn around, and it emerges behind you, and you can hear this like footsteps kind of slopping down on the mud behind you. And it speaks, and it's closer to your height. You hear this noise. Are we going to take them to the shade trade?
I'm listening.
Yes. Go. And he pushes you forward. And
Gentle, please.
And as you do that, and you just look over your shoulder, you see a creature who is actually a little shorter than you, with yellowish skin,
Cute.
very skinny, but with a kind of a large head and wispy white hair on top. Looks like nothing you've ever seen before.
It's like a house elf.
It's kind of like a house elf. It's kind of like Dobby.
Okay.
That's pretty close. Or like a gnome of a different flavor.
But Tabitha doesn't know what this is. And
Tabitha does not
she's-
know what this is,
Okay.
and it's not. I mean, it's got armor on,
Okay.
just loose armor on its body. Its arms are bare. It's got a little sword. It's got a bow on its back. He's got 2 little daggers on his chest and a little quick draw sheath there. And he just eyes you with these penetrating blue eyes.
I see. The shade trade, you said. What is that exactly?
Ah, you can sell anything there.
Anything?
Anything. It's also called the shadow market.
Ooh.
Has lots of names.
Okay, and what is your name?
Nah. My name you don't get.
Well,
Okay, well, I'm gonna give you a nickname, and I'm gonna call you Banana Boy, because you're yellow, like a banana.
What the? Do you know what banana is?
Can I just start a petition right now for Banana Boy and Cheeto Girl to like end up together? And then when the campaign ends, they need to be like married somehow.
Making note, banana boy, got it.
Start the petition.
Cheeto girl.
I sort of like clear my throat, and I wonder, what sort of peddling are you hoping to do there at the shade trade or shadow market or what have you?
Sell you.
Okay, relax. You're not gonna sell me.
Hold on now, come now.
And he leans the big half orc, and this is a big one. You've seen
Okay, he's scary.
all sorts of half orcs. They can come in all different shapes and sizes. This is a big one. Slightly purpley skin. I wonder if this is almost if it's a different breed unaccurately, but he's big and muscled and doesn't seem that intelligent, but not dumb either. I mean, he's working things out for himself, and he just leans forward and says,
Oh, yes. So you're the most valuable thing on Anaculi right now.
Okay, I respect what you're trying to do, but I'd like to say that actually.
Like them.
No,
Oh, come on
no.
now.
Okay.
Just hands.
and you feel
Sorry.
the little guy grab your hands behind you,
Alright.
and the
Oh,
little
no.
guy extremely strong. Even though he's little.
Oh.
And just holds both your hands in
Hey,
one
banana
and
boy.
just feel very quickly
Ooh.
wrapping something around your wrists. And oh god, it just really kind of gets you tight there.
Yeah. All right, now, wait, there must be some misunderstanding here. What if someone tries to purchase us and they're just absolutely dreadful? We'll be stuck with them.
As long as they pay well.
Wait,
Okay, well, we can pay well.
but how much do you think that we're worth? What would be a good price for someone like this on the shadow market?
Well, not slaves. You're not slaves, you're information.
Ah,
So the
so
most valuable thing on Anaculi.
Right. Well, actually,
I'd take you to the capital and sell you there, except I don't want, everyone to know about this.
you're no friend of the capital. Come now.
No, definitely not.
There are the trades at the capital with more money. But for us, the shade trade will work fine.
All right, now, suppose, how are they to know that the information that we're giving up for sale at this auction or this market is even reliable? Aren't you taking quite a risk?
I'll do a persuasion check.
Otto was like desperate. He's got like sweat. He's just
Trying.
desperately trying to get out of this. 22
thank God you're rolling well.
here and there.
Bring a good point. I'll make sure to tell them to talk to them all after I sell you. Thank you. Very good point. Come on.
And as they take you around the trees, you can see 2 horses bound to a wagon there,
Oh dear.
and they're tied off. And he just takes you, just so easily, just throws you in the back. One hand on you, just tosses you.
Gentle.
Now you go through there, and you can't even put your hands down to stop you. Luckily, you land right on top of Otto. He's like, and you're gonna roll off of him.
Sorry.
Well,
Okay, well,
They untie the horses and
Yvonne, before we take off on this...
you're already traveling. It's just like
Yeah.
horses.
Okay. As we are going on this delightful adventure together as a unit, I would like to bring up that one of our friends we were traveling with, Anna Zora. You remember her? She's orange. Her skin is orange.
Couldn't
She's-
tell them dark.
Okay, well, let me just describe her. She's orange. She changes colours. And she's not from this plane of dimension.
It's called the Feywild.
Right. So,
Very wild.
from my estimation, this is a totally different place, and she is the most valuable thing on Anacroli, not us. We're basically not valuable comparatively to her.
And he goes, oh! Then he hits his companion, like, boom, almost knocks him out of the wagon.
Told you. So much information.
Otto is just sort of like hanging his head, and he's like, it kind of lowers his voice. He's like, abandoning them is one thing, but throwing them under the bus to these, I don't know about that.
I was going to try to save them, but I'd like to break free. I don't want to be in this predicament.
Look, the reason that I wanted to leave with you, granted it's not gone exactly as I'd hoped, is that you're smart, you're cunning. We're not getting away from these two. Even that small one could twist both of our necks if we wanted to.
And he's just watching you talk. He's like 2 feet away, just watching you guys.
And it takes me a second. I'm like, so. I
Keep going.
Well, I was just going to say that I think we should be nice and cozy here because I don't see a way out.
You're right. There's
Oh, you're
none.
not getting away. You're right about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Banana boy. Question.
What does this mean, banana?
It's really just a commentary on your colour
It's fun to say that.
because you didn't give me a name when I asked you for it. So
Right.
we're just calling you
We don't give
that.
a name. You don't know my people. They really aren't from us, are they? They're not Anacroli people. They're not from the kingdom either.
Right, where we come from, thieves and criminals tell you their names.
Okay, anyways, back to what I was trying to ask. Actually, we're hungry.
Oh, a bit, yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, is there
Yeah, that's
food?
true. If there is
Yeah.
just a little bit,
Yeah, you can have food.
that would be wonderful.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, that's one.
So,
Do you have any roast duck, perchance? Is that
duck.
Never mind.
I don't know what duck is.
But and he
Forget
pulls out a bag and seems quite earnest. He grabs and he hands you a big piece of dripping meat. It's just like a big hunk of raw flesh.
Raw?
Yeah, it's raw. Hey.
I'm like excited until I like see what it is, and I'm
And just
like,
the blood is just running down his finger.
You guys, I want you in good
you know
order.
what? You know what? Actually, I think I'm.
So we
No,
actually
wait, it's not yet.
we cannot eat unless it's
and he-
cooked.
And he just like the sinew kind of pulls away.
Nah.
And the blood's
It's
like,
like a concern
And he puts it back
parasites
in.
for us.
he's like, oh, he throws it to Yuguan.
And I think I've lost my appetite. Actually.
And then he pulls out this, it's like a yellow-orange, weird, it looks immediately like a fruit.
A
It's
fruit,
some
yeah.
kind of a fruit. With little weird protrusions on it. And he pulls a knife out, and you see him he carefully cuts the protrusions off. You don't eat those. And he tosses it back, and you're like, boom, don't have any arms. You can still get it. Go. And she's kind of rolling around by it, and he does another one. He tosses it back for you, and then he faces forward.
And just sort of like trying to contain my irritation, and I kind of try to like twist and grab it with my down hand.
And they did not remove our weapons, correct? Okay. And so I would like to take my dagger
Okay.
and try to like very secretly undo my hands, but keep my hands together at my back so no one would know that I'm
Okay.
with them.
What do you think? Did you try it?
We cannot
Trying
reach it.
to get it. Hold on. You guys are having a nice long laugh at this, aren't you? Hold on. And I'm trying to like grab the fruit with my hands, if I can, like where they threw it.
And he reaches out, he grabs it, and he puts it right by your face.
I want you in good form when we sell you. Go on.
don't feel entirely comfortable with that.
I don't have to.
No, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
And I'm just watching, like,
Yeah.
What does it taste like?
It's quite good.
It's firmer than it looked like it would be, so it's got a bit of a crunch to it. But it's got a light sweetness. It's kind of like a sweeter jicama.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I would like to think if I were the editor of this episode of The Role Players, it would be like a hard cut from when we were back in the carriage in total safety, sleeping, and I'm like, I have this great idea. And then it just hard cuts to me being fed fruit
weird fruit.
by this huge dude while I'm captive.
This is a little dude.
Or sorry, yeah, that's right. But he too is rather strong and intimidating. And I'm just sort of like weirdly like try to avoid eye contact with him as he's like feeding me this, and as my eyes kind of look away, I'm like, tastes good.
And you go for a second bite and he pulls it away and he puts it in front of you.
I don't know.
Now you want some.
No, thank you.
No, it is really good. You should try it.
I don't know if it's going to be good in my system.
Did we
If you know what I mean.
have a problem here?
Why don't you just take a bite?
Okay, I'm going to take, and I take one bite.
Okay. And he just tosses it to you and turns around again.
All right, well.
And then have I managed to...
Roll sleight of hand.
Okay.
See if.
He noticed or not?
Yeah. Oh no! Did they have a one?
Let's see, no, it's a 2.
Not quite a one.
Okay,
Let's see
okay.
if we can add anything to it to give ourselves a little zhuzh.
You're in big trouble.
Plus 5, so it's 7.
Okay. You spit out the fruit from your mouth, and he immediately looks back at you, and your hands. He sees your hands moving, and with shocking speed, he puts a hand down on the rail, and he is up in the air and like vaulting back and landing
Right at you.
and kind of spins you on your back.
And starts taking your weapons. And then starts patting you down and taking
My rapier.
your rapier off.
Oh.
Trying to be nice. He's not playing nice.
Why do we have to be bound?
You're the problem. You're going to be the problem. Maybe we should kill her.
Oh.
Just take
That's
this
kind of
one.
cute.
He seems to know everything.
No, both.
And he
Both
only really
worth
knows...
more.
Okay.
One might die anyway.
No, I could certainly. There are things I know, like I'm quite fond of stories.
And he takes one of your daggers and he's flipping, and you see incredible skill. Like he's checking the weight, just kind of flipping it around, and then he sticks the point right in your throat. And then he picks up the fruit again and he says, "Now, eat." And as you're watching this, you're realizing that from the edges of your vision, it's just going dark a little bit. And you're trying to, you're like,
Yeah, obviously I knew it was bad and you shouldn't have eaten it.
and it's just
I
getting
tried
darker, and you're
to
just getting
tell you.
your
You
eyes.
did not try.
Your eyes are getting heavy,
I tried not to eat it because you were
and you
just
feel the
willingly
blade
eating
push.
into your trachea and bite.
Shiny. And the blade's still going. He checks it.
But I am doing the like prison thing where I'm putting it under my
Oh
tongue.
my god.
Just in case. I'm trying here.
Roll a deception check.
Okay.
This might be the end of Tabitha.
Good lord.
Okay, I'm just trying over here. What do you want me to do? Just like be dry?
Yeah. As opposed to.
What was I rolling?
Deception.
Okay, so an 8.
So, quick as possible, his hand is in your mouth,
Grabbing your tongue, pulling it up,
Oh,
and his blade is on the bottom. And he can, yeah, you're out.
and his blade is on the bottom of your tongue, and you can feel it starting to start to slightly cut into you. He can see the piece of fruit right there.
Okay, and I finish it. I'm like,
What?
fine. Obviously,
No, you can't do
trying to-
anything. It's like you can't even talk.
Okay.
One more chance. One more chance. And he lets go. And he gives you the fruit. And what are you going to do?
Eat it, obviously. You've given me no options here.
And you finally do, and he literally checks your mouth.
Yeah.
And then he pushes you down and steps over you with all your weapons back to the front. And you can feel it now that you're aware of it. And it's just a warmth spreading through you. And it does taste quite pleasant. He wasn't lying, it tastes great, but you just feel this warmth spreading through you. And you're like, wow, it feels nice, but then you're
Starting to get a little groggy.
Yeah, some weird, like, druggy situation.
We just got dosed.
Yeah, and you were the one who was willingly eating it, so just that, like,
Do
let
you
that
guys have any food?
This one over here.
And
If they had cooked the
darkness,
meat, it would have been good.
darkness takes you.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, so now we're drugged.
Now you're
We're
drunk.
drugged and we're out.
Cool, so this is when we die. Great.
so.
Yeah. Well, these guys don't seem like creepy or anything, so I'm sure we're fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah,
They're gonna
we're
take you
cool. We're
home,
chill.
put you in bed.
Yeah.
Tuck you in.
I've tried
This
all
is
my
honestly
ways of getting
spooky.
out.
You've done a great job. You just some of those critical roles didn't happen.
Yeah, you were rolling amazing, but not myself.
Right. Well, hey, Otto is not as brave as you. He would never try to.
Do the prison trick with the food.
No, he would try to. You kind of saw. He
He's
realized.
like, okay, you're feeding me fruit. There's nothing as weird about this. I'll
And you
just
saw-
willingly.
he didn't like it.
But
Right.
he's kind of a self-proclaimed, scaredy cat. Essentially, he's not a brave man
Yeah.
yet.
He thinks if he can't talk himself out of a situation, then it's too dangerous a situation.
Okay, so then now we're drugged.
Okay, so that's the last thing you hear. It's just the hooves and the creak of the wheels spinning around as sleepiness takes you.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna leave this here.